26 and the link is feeling cold. Stories of a super runner getting kinda old. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. Calling him uncoachable every single night. AJ in the tray, got me in my feels. Mr. Hollywood is the brownest on the field. Man, he ain't calling plays, I'll be searching for the spark. Eagles flying solo, hunting shadows in the dark. Prabo and Rossini trying to launch a master plan. Ever since the photos got you sitting with the fans. Draft day approaching, how we sitting on this perch. Gotta fill some holes, so you know he's on the search. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Watching out for Cap, cause your boy is bleeding green. Searching through the trending topics, info moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Pro fan talk.
What's going on, good people? What is going on with my camera? Why the hell am I so dark? What the what? What the what? What is going on? Why does it look like I got both lights on right now and it looks like what is going on? I do not know. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can figure something out. Theme, light. There we go. No, no video effects. I don't know what's going on. This is virtual key light vignette. No, we don't want vignette. That was off. I don't know. I don't understand why. I don't know. Not quite sure why this is picking me up so damn dark. I am confused right now. Let me see if there's something I could do in OBS. Wow. Let me hold on. Configure. Let me see if I can configure video. Nope. Oh well. It looks like it is what it is. Properties, deactivate. Let's try filters. Why am I so dark? Background removal, glow. Outer glow position. Let's get rid of that. Yes. And quality. I don't know. I am at a loss, my friends. I don't know why. Let's see if I can get some brightness up in here. That's audio filters, effect filters. Do they have a brightness up in here? Color correction, color key, composite, freeze, glow, luma key, mask. I got all this stuff on here. Background, capture, override, render delay, retro effects. Nah, these are all, I don't know. Well, guess what? I'm just going to have to be dark today. It is what it is. It wasn't even like this last night. I don't know. All right. It is what it is. We're going to deal with it one way or the other. But what's going on with you? Appreciate you bearing with me with my bad lighting. I don't even know what to say about it. It's hold on for a second. Let me try one more thing. There we go. That's a little better. So I turned off my room light. So now all I got is these two LED lights, and that looks better. So it is what it is. But yeah, I saw somebody put it in the chat. sources at it again. I said the same thing, man. I said the same damn thing. Just when you thought it was safe, just when you thought it was a lull and everything that's going on, somebody got to say something. Somebody got to release a story. And it's like, where are y'all getting this stuff from, man? Just go ahead and tell me where you getting it from. Where you getting it from? We ain't trying to deal with sources no more. Sources, boy, they'll take you there, man. They'll get you to. They'll have you drinking. They will have you drinking, man. Sources close. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. They just can't. Why can't they just leave us alone? I don't know. I don't know what they looking for. Um, I don't know what the MO is. Well, I know what the MO is. Everybody want a story. Everybody trying to in this lull in the action. Matter of fact, I'm trying to wait and see. Today's the 15th. I saw something that said on the 17th that there's going to be no more news about Rossini and Vrabel to drop. So, and this was on a Commander show with LeVar Arrington. I heard him. What a clip that I heard said that there's going to be some more information because the NFL is trying to bury the stuff on her because allegedly she could have news on a lot of people and some of the things that she's done, or I guess some of the relationships that she's had could have, could be a domino effect of bad stuff. So they're trying to suppress the story. But this is the time. This is the lull. You ain't got nothing happening until training camp truly starts in August. So, ain't no telling what else will come out. But, I heard the story today. I heard the story from Big Hugh, recklessly speculating. And I was like, man, what else do you want, man? What else do you want? Let me see. Was this, I think it was at the 8-minute mark. I was listening to Hugh on WIP today, and he was talking about the story from whatever the dude wrote, Joe Santoliquito, saying that Hurts didn't feel like he was supported and all of that type of stuff. And I wanted to comment. I'm gonna play some of the stuff that Hugh said, but I wanted to comment on a comment that he made about when he played, which was after I played. And he said, what did he say? Reporters didn't make this stuff up, was basically what he said. I'm gonna find the quote. But basically he was like, reporters don't make this stuff up. So let me see. I think it was around the eight thing. So hold on, let me see if this is it. Let's take a look at this.
Directly. So, from my perspective, from Nick's perspective, from
this is Howie, obviously.
We're not hiding behind anything, we will talk to our players directly, and I think that it's unfair.
I think Hugh mistook what Howie was saying, and then they kind of corrected him, like, no, that's not what he meant. But you'll hear it.
As I hear that again,
It sounds different now.
well, perhaps that's what the person close to Hurts is talking about. That wasn't a defense of Jalen Hurts, but I heard there was a defense of the franchise. How he was defending himself, the head coach, the owner. We don't have to do things like that. If we have a problem with him or anybody else, we go to him directly. We handle things. We don't run to the media with stories. Like what I heard there was Howie Roseman defending the Eagles organization that he runs.
I'm gonna stop it right there. Do me a favor. Let me know if y'all heard that. If it sounded all right. Because I know sometimes my audio and the stuff that I'm trying to play don't actually come through the way I want it to. But this was going on about the conversation about what they felt. The report that Jalen Hurts did not feel like he was the Eagles had his back, basically. And they were just kind of timelining the quotes and some of the sound bites, and this was one of them they used with Howie Roseman. And then, of course, they're trying to say, well, Howie Roseman said everything about the Eagles, but he didn't say that he was actually backing them. And they kind of inserting their own thoughts into what was said, in my opinion. But I want to get to that one point because I had a good point about this. Here we go. I want to hear what Hugh had to say.
Because that's what it sounded like to
He
me.
was
But
trying
I'll
to
give
say
you that.
that's not an issue. He was saying they are direct with their players. I think
Okay.
that's what he was saying.
But he also, and this is where it's a little confusing for me, because he also said in that is that he understands that stories like this have to be written. Okay, if I was in there, if it wasn't true, then I don't know any media member that was here when I was here that would make up stories like
That right there. That's what I wanted to address. Because he's talking about, and I've said this before, the reporters that came in the locker room when I played back in 93, 94, it was a different era. Now, Hugh played in a different era. I'm not even sure social media was a thing when he played. I don't think YouTube and it hadn't hit yet. It was digital, but not to the effect that it is now. The social media landscape had not been created yet. So it was still websites and MySpace and things of that nature. And that's it. So, but I wanted to address that because he's right. Back then, reporters didn't make stuff up. I'm sure there were people that did, but he said the reporters that he faced, because even back then, most of the beat reporters showed up in the locker room and they had a microphone in front of somebody's face. And they had to run over and type it up and put it on, I'm sure it was still digital back then, but there was still a process. You couldn't just, it wouldn't just go from the microphone immediately to Twitter or to Instagram or something like that. It was still some processes. It still had to be edited. And there was still a level of accountability is what I'm trying to get to. There was still a level of accountability between the reporter, what they wrote, and who they wrote it about. Because even back then, the reporters still had to come in the locker room and look at you face to face. Now you don't have to do that. So now, back then, you knew who you were talking to. Now you don't. Now you don't. And which makes it so much easier for people on the outside looking in to write stories that can get traction that have no clue what's going on the inside. No clue. We just had that happen. We just had the same thing happen with the whole AJ Brown situation. Did he say that he was leaking information? Did he admit that he was leaking information to Maria Taylor? And everybody went with that one Twitter account that turned out to be a AI account, and they took what was said because of your disdain from AJ Brown or whatever, and they ran with it. And I'll say it again, there is enough ammunition to criticize people where you don't have to make shit up. You don't have to lie on folks. So that's one of the things that's very interesting, because anybody can come up with something. And if the right people see it, if the algorithm catches it and gives it legs, people will consider it true. Nobody does the homework to vet the information anymore, because it's easy enough to figure out if it's an AI channel. Is it an AI bot from? I had a thing today. I was doing some stuff in the WNBA, and somebody said some real toxic stuff about Angel Reese. And I was like, dude, that's so far out of bounds. It's not even funny. Then you go and figure out the account. It's an AI account from Nigeria. So it's not anybody real behind it. But there's a lot of people that may have seen that quote or some of these stories about Jalen Hurts or AJ Brown or whoever, and they don't do any homework. They just take it for gospel. And because I saw it on Twitter and it had 10,000 reposts or 10,000 views or whatever, people just automatically seem to assume that it's true. Nobody does any homework anymore. So, um, it's very interesting to see um, how people react. It's very interesting to see the back and forth with the news because like I guess the question should be, and you ask your audience. I would be curious to know how much content do people still consume on the radio versus online versus watching my podcast or somebody else um, that's tied into the Eagles or that pays attention. Do we really know where they get their information from? Are they guessing? And um, this is my reckless speculation that a lot of those people on the radio, they're guessing like everybody else. So, um, where do you get your content from? Most people, I would think, they get more content on their phone sitting on the toilet than they do in front of a television now. Watching TV is for old folks now. Most people nowadays, the first thing you do when you get up in the morning is check your phone. If you go to the bathroom, you'll spend more time on the toilet because you're checking your phone on the toilet. And let's not get it twisted. Let's not forget that iPhones and Androids are waterproof. And they got the mounts. They will turn them joints on right in the shower and be watching content right in the shower. They'll put it right behind the shower head so it don't get directly wet or something like that, and they can watch it so they don't miss a call or whatever. Man, people doing all kind of crazy stuff, man. But what they're not doing is sitting in front of a television. They go to breakfast, they sit at their little breakfast nook or they counter in their kitchen, they island counter in their kitchen, and they'll watch it on the iPad, another mobile device. Or you got people now that got the internet in a viewing screen on their refrigerator. It's crazy stuff. What's up, Doc Jen? It's crazy stuff. So it all comes down to where you want to get the information. But I go back to that original question. Where do you get most of your content from? Where are you trusting it from? I'm hearing the same information. And now because of social media, we can get it out just as fast as they can. So, there's still room for good journalists and good journalism. But is anybody doing that now? Because it's all about who moves the fastest. It's all about who moves the fastest. So, I really don't care about what somebody thinks is going to happen because I know, in my estimation, nothing has really changed with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts still getting a strong paycheck. Jalen Hurts still did anything change with when did we not think that Jalen Hurts needed to have a good year? When has that never been the case? Matter of fact, when has that never been the case for any quarterback we've had? And that includes Carson Wentz. Before Carson Wentz, who do y'all remember who was here before Carson Wentz? Was that I can't even, man, my CTE is bad. I can't even remember that back that far. Who was the quarterback before Carson Wentz? Were we still dealing with Mike Vick? Like, I don't remember. Were we in transition? Bradford? Was that who it was? Sammy Sleeve, Sam Bradford? I don't know. And who was it before that? Because Bradford wasn't here long. So like questions like that, man, and you kind of got to figure out Bradford Foles, okay. It was, No, because Foles didn't start before Carson Wentz. Foles was here during Carson Wentz, right? And then when Carson Wentz got hurt, that's when Nick Foles took over. And then after he took over, he started a couple games, and then he ended up going over to St. Louis. And the one thing about when Vic got hurt, okay, thank you. Because I remember, I don't think Nick Foles has finished a season healthy or as a starter. Because I don't think he ever finished the season when he was with St. Louis. But I can't remember. I have to go back and see it. But Kevin Cobb, damn. For one game. But I mean, I guess that goes to my point. We piecing together situations. We piecing together. So when has it not been? When was the last time we had a situation where we just wasn't worried about the quarterback? Was Donovan McNabb. And that's why it's so funny that we still have these questions, because as good as McNabb was consistent. We knew we were going to the playoffs. We had a couple bad stretches, but everybody does. But we done been to the promised land twice. Jalen Hurts has been to the playoffs every year he's been a starter. And we've been to the promised land twice. We got a victory. And both times in that big game in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts was the best player, the best quarterback on the field. The one we lost, he was the best player on the field. The one we won, he was the best quarterback. So I don't understand what people are looking for, and it all goes back to the argument about the optics. That's what it goes back to. The optics of what are we looking for? Is it more important to win? Is it more important to get to the playoffs? Or is it more important to have a quarterback that throws for 4,500 yards, passing yards in the season? Because it seems like the optics are that most people are more worried about how many passing yards did your quarterback throw for, as opposed to how far did he get in the playoffs. That's what it seems like, or at least it seems like that when you're talking about Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, Chris, he got to elevate, but again, that's water is wet. We'll still figure out, and I believe it'll play itself out, but we'll figure out real quick if the problems we had last year was more Jalen Hurts or more Kevin Patullo. We're going to find that out. I believe it was a little bit of both under the umbrella of we ain't got an offensive line. And people still fail to bring that up when they want to talk about Jalen Hurts and what happened last year. Nobody wants to bring that up. Nobody wants to keep that part 100. And I'll say it again. If the offensive line would have blocked just halfway adequately, Kevin Patullo would have kept his job. I believe that. Not saying that he was the right person for the job, or not even say he was a good OC. All I'm saying is if our offensive line could have run blocked better and pass blocked better, we probably would have won a couple of more games, and we would not have went out the way we did. And Kevin Patullo goes, if we don't lose against San Francisco, Kevin Patullo keeps his job. We could not move the ball in the second, so it looked totally different. And all I'm saying is if we could run block halfway like we got some damn sense, that takes some of the pressure off of Jalen and what Kevin Patullo had to do on 2nd and 8, 3rd and 9, or whatever situation was when we had 3rd and long, and you couldn't push. So we had to run the play. So we were gambling a lot of the time. because none of the defense, they found out very quickly that we couldn't run block. So Saquon Barkley was at a disadvantage, a bad disadvantage. And they teed off because they saw that happening, and we didn't fix it. So if we block halfway decently, Kevin Patullo probably still has a job. And then we really in this situation, we really found ourselves in the pickle because then everybody's really looking at Jalen Hurts. Mind you, we still talking about why did Jalen Hurts call the 4 verts? I don't believe he called that play. But if Kevin Patullo was here, everybody would still be saying the same thing. The expectations would be the same. And then it would all be on Jalen. So I don't know what's going to be different with this year because, I mean, nobody knows what Sean Mannion is going to do. We got a good idea, and I have the confidence that Sean Mannion knows what he's doing. And I also have the confidence that him and Jalen are going to be on the same page, and Jalen is going to understand what the offense is supposed to look like. I heard a lot of reports talking about the defense looked better in OTAs. The defense always is going to look better in OTAs because the defense is easier to pick up than an offense is. So that's granted. It's going to look the same way in camp too. Now, the offense should look better. The defense should not be dominating every week, every day in camp. Offense has got to win some of them battles. So we'll see how it's going to go down. Appreciate you, schoolboys. Injuries played a factor in both. Yeah, absolutely. Injury to the offensive line. That still doesn't exempt Patullo from a lot of the bad halves that we had. And in situations where I thought we was getting out coached. And it wasn't it was mentioned many times that our offense was predictable. I do remember that. So it was coming time to, how do you change up the offense if we can't block it? How do you change up the offense if you can't play action at all? Why are you going to play action? We know y'all not running the ball. We already know that. Stop playing. So how do you get better with that? Everybody knows what you're doing. We pigeonhole you to one side of the field and to one type of game plan because you can't do anything else because you don't have any blocking on your offensive line. Y'all on the struggle bus right now. And everybody was watching tape, and it was easy to figure out. Now we got something new coming. Now we got somebody new calling the shots. Now we got somebody playing chess, not checkers. And I'm expecting for it to look a little bit different, on top of the fact that we got the one quarterback to play in the NFL in the last 10 years that can handle having a different offensive coordinator year after year after year after year. We got somebody that can actually do that. And now I think we got somebody where our quarterback and our coach are speaking the same language. So we'll see what's going on. Everybody got something to prove, Chris. Everybody got something to prove. That's the one thing we used to say when we played football. What you did last year don't matter. I don't want to hear jack about the Patriots. I don't want to hear nothing about the Seahawks. What you did last year does not matter. We were talking about let's look to repeat. We were talking that noise. We were talking that noise, and we kept squeaking by games and squeaking by games. And once again, AJ Brown was right. You can only squeak by so many times. But somebody gonna figure it out. So you got to get better. And we never did. We never did. That's the one thing. Everybody that's mad at AJ, I still say AJ ain't never lied. Never. We could be sick of him and frustrated with him, glad he's gone. And y'all know how I feel about the situation. I wish he could stay, but if he don't want to be here, then this ain't the place for you, deuces. That part I understand. However, when he was here, he was right. I don't care about if you didn't like the book he was reading on the sideline. I don't care about all that stuff. He was right. Offense was looking suspect, but there were some other causes for that, as just opposed with we don't want to get him the ball, or we ain't trying to throw the ball enough, all of that type of stuff. But then you kind of wonder, why didn't we throw the ball more? Because Saquon couldn't go nowhere because we didn't have an offensive line. One hand washes the other. So we got to figure out a better way. I guess, well, that's not the right phrase. I'm gonna say we need to figure out a better way to make things right. But at the end of the day, you make things right by winning games. Period. It ain't complicated. Now, I know that's the one thing we did say a lot last year. Stop making it complicated. So I'm looking at Mannion. What are you going to do with Mekhi Lemon? What are you going to do with Dontavian Wicks? What are you going to do with two good tight ends? What are you going to do with Jalen under center? What are you going to do with a zone read offense? A zone read run game? I can't wait for Saquon to get a taste of that, where you can get the ball deep and be a running back. I can't wait for that to happen. Is Jalen Hurts going to go past 4,000 yards? Is it going to be a situation where we getting the ball out short to middle routes and let our playmakers make plays? How many explosive plays are we going to get from Devontae Smith? Are we still going to run this go route that he used to throw to A.J. Brown all the time, except now we throwing it to Smitty? How are we gonna morph this? How is this? This offense needs to transform like Voltron, man. Better yet, this is a whole new row beast. Y'all like the Voltron references? If you know, you know. So it's I don't want to say slippery slope, but we have the microscope on us, basically, because you got a huge contingency of people that want to see Jalen Hurts succeed, and you got another big contingency of people that want to see him fail. They've never liked Jalen Hurts. Every excuse in the world why we win, and he's not a part of that reason. They'll think of everything as, you know, well, anybody can win with Saquon Barkley. Oh, really? Ask Josh Allen and his number one running back. How'd that work out for him? Y'all better stop playing with me. It's not easy to win a championship. It is not easy to win a championship. Has anybody talked about the Seahawks repeating? Anybody? Has anybody heard that? Has anybody heard those words uttered? I have not. And I know we were talking about we had a good enough team to repeat. Does anybody think that the Seahawks got a chance to repeat in 26? No. We wasted a prime opportunity last year because our offense sucked. The one thing, the most valuable thing on this planet is time. because once you give it, you cannot get it back. And we wasted a whole season last year because we couldn't get right. The offense was bipolar. It was good one half, sucked in the other. Sometimes it was the first, sometimes it was the second, but very rarely did we put 4 quarters of good football together. And if we did do that, we did it against an opponent that had no business being on the same field as us. And we couldn't get any type of consistency. We was getting out coached. We was getting out hustled. We was making too many mistakes. But the out coach thing is the one that kind of threw me for a loop, because all of our stuff, like I mentioned before, became too predictable, and it just it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. We throwing into zones and we throwing into the decision making on the play calling was suspect at best. Let me say it like that. Let me say it like that. We lost games we shouldn't have lost. We struggled in games and we eked out wins when we should have been beating people by 14 and 15 points, 2 and 3 touchdowns. And it just didn't manifest like that. And it never seemed to get better. It never seemed to get better. And it's like, I know we got better players than this on this sideline. So what is it? Is it the players not being involved? Is it the coach not knowing how to tap in? Like, what is it? Well, I know this year we're going to know what is it. We're going to have a better idea of what it's not, because we're not dealing with Kevin Patullo no more. Now we got somebody that seems like they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. Now we're dealing with an offensive coordinator that seems like he understands how to communicate with a starting quarterback. So the pressure's going to be on. Not that the pressure is anything different than it's been any other year. So, it is what it is. Yeah, everybody gets up for us. Everybody gets up for us. You are 100% correct. We're everybody's big game. So Mahomes is going to struggle because he's coming off an injury. Very difficult for him to play the way he does at his age. And now you're dealing with coming off, what he's coming from. So he's going to have his issues to deal with as well. So I saw that clip again. Remember I told y'all about that clip about Tom Brady at the Super Bowl when he was talking about what his superpower was. He was talking to Colin Cowherd, and he said his ability to decipher what the defense was throwing at him faster than anybody else. He said, that's my superpower. I can process fast as shit. That's literally what he said. He said, I can process fast as shit. That's my superpower. I know what you're running before you call it. And he's right. So we're going to see, Sean Mannion, what you got going on. I got a mind to go look at some Green Bay stuff this week. Maybe I'll put together a film session this week about Dontavian Wicks when he was at Green Bay. What did he do? What did he look like? What formations? What routes? What was his best route? What was his blocking looking like? Like, I want to see what the kid was about at Green Bay. I want to see everything, man. Before we get there. Definitely before we get there. So should be interesting, man. Should be interesting. But I just find it funny that, we got a lull in the action, and lo and behold, here come another piece about Jalen Hurts. So you just can't please everybody, man. Somebody gonna find a way to be mad about something, right? Oh my goodness. Just can't get right, boss. I'm the pappy. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm about to land this plane, man. I'm about to go get something to eat, chill out for a minute. Got some work to do tonight. Got some more work to do tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out if I want to buy a drone. I'm having them conversations now, and it's not what you think. I already got a drone, but I don't use it that much. But I might get me one of them handheld drones because I want to start shooting more outside. And this particular drone will let me shoot, and it'll follow me around and film me. So I'm looking up some specs to see if I can to see if it'll do what I need it to do. So before I pull the trigger on something like that, I got to do my homework. So that's what I'm gonna do, man. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here. Stay tuned. They said it was supposed to be some big news on the 17th. About Diana Rossini, more news coming out. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm sure they're gonna have more information about Jalen Hurts and what's his name, Joe Santoliquito, and the story that he wrote. And it wasn't really a hit piece. It was not a hit piece, but it had some disparaging things in there. So, it's newsworthy. So keep that on the back burner because I don't think this is going to be the last time we visit this conversation. So, but I'm gonna get out of here. I guess. Is anybody playing World Cup now? Did y'all see my Scots? Did y'all see my Scottish folks take over Boston? Did y'all see that? Man, bagpipes and haggis for everybody. They took over Boston, man. Shut it down. They said they had Gillette Stadium hit 125 decibels when they were singing Flower of Scotland. Oh, Flower of Scotland. We had to learn how to sing it. Just being respectful because they play their anthem when we played the games over there. Don't remember the words, but I can look it up online. So yeah, that was cool, man. I did get me a kit. Got me a nice little U.S. Umbro shirt with the collars on them. So I'll be looking fly with some more World Cup footage coming up. So yeah, it's time to move on. But I'm saying if they're gonna bring some more stuff on it, I'm over it too. But if they're gonna bring up some more stuff that affects the NFL, that's what LeVar Arrington was saying. That wasn't nobody talking about the story, but he was like, she know too many people. And the way he said it was he had heard some things from sources that there was going to be some more news to come, and it was going to be a big deal. So who knows? It could be some BS. It could be for real, but just keep your eye out, man. So, who am I to judge? At the end of the day, if you don't want to watch it, if you don't want to partake, if you don't want to engage in the content, you don't have to. It's all a choice. So, what Master Yoda say? Do or do not. There is no try. So, but in any case, man. So, all right. I'm gonna turn on one of these World Cup games going through the night. I'm gonna see if I can catch the end of the Las Vegas and the Dallas Wings game. Asia Wilson and Paige Beckers is going off. So yeah. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. If there's any more reports, any more newsworthy items, me and Tone will be on tomorrow at 8:30. So you know how we do. The Bald Eagles podcast. Check us out. Check out my man Tone at Chalk It Up Sports. We will be on with y'all tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Be there at B Square. So you know how we do. But all right, I'm gonna get up out of here. We rock for 45 minutes. That's good for me. If anything else pop up, Tiff, I'm gonna take a look at that video you sent. I didn't even know that you sent me anything, so I'm gonna take a look at it. But yeah, y'all have a good night. If anything pops up in the morning, y'all know I'll be here, and I will see y'all then. Y'all have a good night, and as usual, go Birds. Let me see.
Yo, 2026 and the link is feeling cold. Stories of a super runner getting kinda old. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. Calling him uncoachable every single night. AJ in the trade, got me in my feels. Mr. Hollywood is the brownest on the field. Man, he ain't calling plays, I'll be searching for the spark. Eagles flying solo, hunting shadows in the dark. Rabel and Rossini trying to launch a master plan. Ever since the photos got you sitting with the fans. Draft day approaching, how we sitting on this perch. Gotta fill some holes, so you know he's on the search. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Watching out for Cap, cause your boy is bleeding green. Searching through the trending topics, info moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all.